Gunshots in Yellowstone National Park leave one person dead and a park ranger injured. This all unfolded Thursday morning at Canyon Village. That's in the central part of the park on what's traditionally 4th of July, one of the busiest days of the holiday season. According to the National Park Service, rangers responded to Canyon Village for reports of an individual with a gun making threats. When rangers tried to speak with that person, the individual allegedly started shooting with rangers, exchanging gunfire. One ranger was injured and flown to a nearby hospital, but is in stable condition today. The suspect was killed. That person's name and a possible motive have yet to be released. This entire scene.
Okay, we have a ranger who was shot by an unknown suspect in Yellowstone National Park. I'm going to watch the video. I'm going to give you my reaction.
Created panic in the park, with tourists running for cover and employees hiding in buildings and even locking themselves in closets. MTN's Penny Preston caught up with some park visitors who described the unease that settled over the park in the hours that followed.
Canyon Village was cordoned off Thursday morning, rangers telling visitors only that a significant incident had occurred and that the store's visitor center and restaurant would not be open. The normally full parking lot was empty except for one car with a booted tire and Florida plates. Crime scene tape surrounded the Canyon Lodge dining room and the post office.
I couldn't imagine being like in a mass shooting event like this. You just out with the family, thinking you're gonna have a good day at the national park, then all of a sudden you got this crazed suspect just randomly shooting. Terrifying.
Workers in the nearby gift shop and grill say they didn't hear or see the shooting. The Park Service press release says rangers responded to the report of an individual with a firearm who was making threats. The release says when rangers approached the individual, there was an exchange of gunfire. The person with the firearm deceased. One ranger in a region.
That's why as a civilian, it's so important to have your license to carry, especially if you're allowed to in your state. You got it. Not only to have your license, to carry it and practice, man. Go to the range, even if it's just once a month, once every 2 months. Practice. So, I mean, like I said, you won't be a potential victim in situations like this.
In a hospital in stable condition. While the popular Canyon Village was emptied, the rest of the park was crowded with visitors, as usual on a 4th of July holiday. As they watched the bison, elk, and bears nearby, most knew nothing about this.
Then you do something like this during the holiday weekend when you know there's going to be a ton of people out at the national park with family. Sick.
Shooting, but were disappointed to hear about it.
I live real close to Nashville, Tennessee. A lot of shootings there also, and it's just terrible to have to come to a place where you're just going to relax and be on vacation.
Man, this man came from Nashville, Tennessee to probably escape, relax, and enjoy the holiday, and wound up in a damn shootout.
And get away from the big city and to come out here in such a beautiful area, and crime follows you no matter wherever you go, it seems.
I think that's awful. It's a sad trend that we in our country have.
The National Park Service has been protecting this park for a very, very long time. They've done so in a professional manner, and I have no doubt that they did so today.
The FBI is heading the investigation with help from the National Park Service special agents. From Yellowstone, I'm Penny Preston, reporting for MTN News.
Shootings and murders are rare in Yellowstone National Park. According to the book Death in Yellowstone, there are only 8 documented murders in 150 years.
Man, only 8 documented murders in 150 years. Man. Like I said, you never really hear about like rangers having to shoot. You never hear anything about that. Like I didn't even know those guys had guns, honestly.
Several of those happened nearby outside the park. The first occurring in 1899 as a 5-year-old boy was killed by his mother at Fort Yellowstone. She was later declared insane by medical terminology of the time. In 1952, an unnamed infant was strangled by her 18-year-old mother, who was a cabin maid at Fishing Bridge. In 1970, a 22-year-old
You could literally count on your hand the amount of deaths in Yellowstone National Park over the last 150 years. That's how it goes to show how rare this occurrence was.
Montana welfare worker was murdered by 2 drifters who also ate some of his body parts.
Wow, cannibalism.
And then most recently in 2021, Gabby Petito was strangled by her boyfriend in nearby Bridger Teton National Forest. That story made national headlines
Yeah, I remember that name, Gabby Petito. I remember that story.
for months.
But let me know what you think in the comments. Have you ever been out and involved in some type of like mass shooting? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.